Hello, legends, super legends. Welcome to Veloharmony's subscriber hangout. Hey, Paul here. Paul, Chris Roxbury, and Peter. Welcome, Peter. Let me make this thing wider here. Let's see. Make it fill up the whole screen. There we go. I hope you guys can see me well and hear me. Hello, Cycling T. Holmes. Stefano Mancini. I love that name. Mancini. Just has a good ring to it. It's got to be, it's Italian. Hey, Peter. Mancini is Italian, isn't it? It's got to be. Just has a cool sound to it. Dario. Yeah, we ride with Christian Colonello. He's Italian also. And we have another guy named Maurizio Topini. You guys have the coolest names. Let's see. Casalotti. It's got to be another Italian. Stefano Mancini from Canada. Okay. But you're an Italian living in Canada. You're not Canadian. SW. Mike Casalotti. Yes, he's Italian as well. You guys have those names, you know, Pinarello, Ferrari. Stefano says he's cold. Yeah, it's cold up there. Christopher Roxbury came up with a cool request. He said that he wanted me to kind of just start out today showing you guys some of the things that we do with the gimbal and how we hold it on the bike. That's why you see the bike behind me. I don't usually keep the bikes up here in the office, so that's why it's there. Stevie Wongster from the UK. Welcome, welcome. And that's really why I'm doing different times, so that sometimes people from the UK can come in and attend, and then maybe Friday we'll do it early in the day to help everybody who's in the different time zones. Let's see, the crew, yeah. Okay, the Italians are coming. That's funny. I think that was in a Western or something, or maybe from the Revolution or something. The British are coming, the British are coming. I think Paul Revere. And then we got George from Puerto Rico. He says it's hot down there. Yeah, man, you south. You south of here. We had 2C today. We rode today. We started, it was 2C. Now, keep in mind, it was 25C over the weekend. That's why we never can adjust. That's the reason I don't play with the weather here. You never get a chance to adjust. It was 2C to like 10C generally today. That's cold. And then tomorrow, the same thing. So we really pay particular attention, because if you don't, you can get sick. Let's see here. Okay. So what I'm going to do first, before we start all this chatting, is this is the gimbal here. Let me move this the microphone to the side. Christopher Roxbury wanted me to just show what we do with the gimbal, how we hold it. And I thought, wow, that's cool. Because a lot of people have asked. He's seen that. Maybe they've asked him directly, but I've seen the comments and questions. This is the gimbal, the Removal S1. I made a video about it. It's in the archives there. If you just type Removal, you'll see it. So I'm not going to go through the functions. I'm going to show you how we use it. Hold on, Stefano. Let me finish this. I'll get to that thing. Your question. So basically, this is it. Now I'm going to put the camera in there. You see this little flap right here? That's what we do to unlock the cage. The gimbal comes with its own cage. When you buy this camera from GoPro, they've got their own cages that they come with. Those cages don't work here, because this has a special attachment. So all you do is they accommodate the Hero 3, 4, 5, and up to the 7. You just basically use their cage. You must always have the camera in here before you turn on the gimbal, because the calibration is set to have the camera in there. And when you get a gimbal like this, is the Removal, which I thought was the best because it's designed to work with GoPro cameras. They have other gimbals out there that people use. So all we do is we put the camera in here. The batteries, everything's in there. And I flip that. This is how we carry it. So when we're not riding, when we're not filming, guess what I do? Paul does the same thing. a lot of times if we have jerseys that have real big pockets, like in the winter, the merino wool, they're tough. We put them there in the pocket in the middle. Well, I found that it's better. I put it here on the bike with the bike moving, hands free, just slip it down there. And it just rests on your spine. And what happens, I pull the jersey up like this. It gets cradled in there to where you feel very little pressure. It may look uncomfortable, but it's not on the bike like that. Then we keep the lens turned away from the sun. Paul was the one that mentioned that to me. We make sure the lens is turned to our body when we're not carrying it. This is how we carry it. So our pockets are free. Sometimes I'll reach back here while I'm riding and make sure this is straight. It actually feels really good. It's resting on my spine, and the flat, that little boxy part just rests on my spine and it sits there. And we ride when we're not filming because we can't film 5 hours. I mean, the battery won't last, and I don't want to go through that length of clips to edit. It would take forever. So I'm going to take it out. So when we take it out, basically on the bike, I just do this, slide it out. There is a button here. We just turn on the gimbal from this button, and you will see the camera basically gets stabilized. So actually what we do is we turn the camera on first. We push the camera button because once the gimbal is operational, we don't want to touch the camera or any of these motors. There are 3 motors. Okay, this is motor number 1, motor number 2, motor number 3 we just learned because this body had been hitting our brake hoods. That's what was giving the gimbal problems. So what we do is we hit this button on the gimbal and we just press that. You see the camera? The camera's going to line up. Look at that. This is it. The gimbal keeps that camera steady. Now, we're in our hand, this stick, the whole thing is pretty light. It's about 440 grams, but it's not bulky. This is a light stick. That's what we hold. Let me bring the bike. All right. Once I'm done with this, then we can resume what we're doing. But Christopher came up with it and people have been asking. So it's great. So now on the bike, this is how we hold it. We're riding like this, and it's right here. This square is in front of our brake lever. I will go to the side. So right here like this, your hands resting on this, and we just hold it like this. And we're riding. That's it. Okay, because the reason why we put it on this side is 2 reasons. You're following people. The white line is on this side. That's where they are. The camera, look at the lens, is way on that side. So the camera gets to give us a view. We don't just get the butt of the guy you're following. So it's just perfect. Now, sometimes we'll put it in this hand like this if we want to. We'll do that. Sometimes if I'm on this side, you'll do that. Same way. Now let me turn to the side so you can see how it looks when we're carrying it. Not enough room in here for this bike. Let's see. I'm going to move this chair so I can go down. So when we're riding, hope you guys can hear me. I'm trying to yell because that mic is over there. So look at it from the side view. There's a lever. It's on the side. It's like holding 2 pencils together. You see that? Sometimes we'll even do this. We'll turn it like this because it kind of cradles right there, and your hands just rest. It's just on your fingers, and that it's not cumbersome. And you basically it's just there. You can see the camera is still straight because of the gimbal, stabilizes and everything. Then we want to shoot at the back. We just do this. Look at that. We shoot behind. That's how Paul gets those shots. Now, what I do when I'm carrying it, I'll rest my hand on my hoods like this, and I will lean the camera to get a shot from the back. So my hands are on the hoods, and I just lean the camera, get a good shot, bring it up like that. Paul likes to hold it up sometimes to get a top view. He'll do that. I'll do that sometimes too. But you just kind of lean it and you do that. And so most of the time we carry it over on this side. And you can see this square is in front of that. When this hits here, then you have calibration problems because that's a motor. That's how we carry it. So I'm going to stop there. So let me move this bike. This is what I wrote today, by the way. Colnago. Somebody asked me why I don't use the Colnago much, not realizing that I do, but it's not on the group rides. I use them for our solo rides and stuff during the week.
I use them more than anything. So I hope that helped those who are wondering. I hope that covered it, Christopher. That's kind of what you were looking at. Let me see here. Now I got to catch up on some of this. All right. Hello from Russellville, Arkansas, Adrian. Hello, Stefano. Stefano says, question, I bought the Rafa Pro jacket. It's a little tight under the armpit. Will the training jacket be less fitted? Possibly. The Pro Team is more tapered. So in all my videos, I tell people with the Pro Team jackets, Stefano, you can send it back. Rafa's really good. They give you a label and everything. Go up one size. I wear a large, like this jersey is a large. My Pro Team jacket is an XL. Go up one size, you will be good. I like the Pro Team because they fit better. I don't like my jackets flapping. Today I wore a jacket over this jersey, and I don't like them flapping. It was just the Pro Team tumble. It was just very comfortable. So try that before you go to the training, because the training is more of a club fit kind of thing. So, you know, with Pro Team, for the jackets, you size up from your jersey size. If you already know your jersey size in Pro Team. Pro Team is race fit. So the jackets, you got to go up. Okay. Hello, Eldred. I took your advice. This is Eric Nell. I took your advice on my last ride. I reduced my PSI from 120 down to 100 on the front and 105 on the rear. At a body weight of 250, the ride was so comfortable. There you go. There you go. And play with them. I mean, we used to do 105, Paul and I, and we eventually ended up stopping at 90 in the front, 95 in the back. I weigh 190. In the winter, I might put on 5 pounds. So I try to keep it off, but you're not that much heavier than me at your weight at 215. I used to ride at 230 something with the same PSI years ago. So yeah, enjoy that, but just feel that you can always try lower PSIs because your tire would just be more supple. You get to enjoy that kaplunk feeling when you're riding down the road. I call it kaplunk because that's what we hear. Paul and I smile about it all the time. We'll be riding side by side and we just look at each other like we got our own language and we just smile. You know, yeah, 120 is not necessary. Even the manufacturers don't recommend that. Alpine, Ibex, dig the winter cap. Yes, I learned something new today, guys. That's the thing. You got to have an open mind. This cap, I have 2 of them. Paul also has the black one. This one has like the pink. I think he has the pink like this. I have the black and white like this as well. I had been wearing them like this, okay? Because that's how they're designed. They call them Belgian cycling cap, deep winter cap, whatever. I've been wearing it like this. The problem is I'm hot-natured. So when I wear them like this, as soon as it gets to 8 or 9 C, I get hot. So what's been happening over the years I've had them, I have not looked to them to take them on the rides because we don't get very cold down here that frequently. So I've been looking at just the regular cotton caps because I just didn't look forward to doing that. But today, on the ride when we stopped at our break, usually we didn't stop at a store. When Paul and I ride, we don't stop. We just took a nature break in the woods. So when we stop, that's when we adjust our pockets, contents, and everything, you know, check your kit because we dress warm to start. I just moved this up because during the ride, I did this. I pushed it up over my ears and I felt better during the ride because I started heating up on the climbs. So when we stopped, I did this because I knew they designed it to be worn like this. I flipped it back and everything. It's designed to be worn like this as well. Very versatile. With this, I could ride up to 12C today comfortably. And I had never tried it like that before. So it was not my hat of choice because since we don't get very cold. So it's very versatile and you can wear it like this. And when it warms up, you're fine. But then when it gets very cold, like we started at 2C, if it gets to 0C, you put this down. So it's almost like 3 hats in one. That's the point I was trying to make. I love them. I love functional stuff. I get excited about it. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I like stuff that works. So yeah. Let's see. Hello, everybody. Hope. Yeah, Craig. Hey, Craig, welcome. So you got a race strap for that gimbal just in case. Yeah, SW, I don't need that. That wrist strap is if it falls and that kind of crap. I'm not carrying it on the ride to be flapping around. Not necessary. we're not going to drop it. It just rests. We're not holding. How can I explain it? We're not holding onto it like this. It's just resting like this while our hand is on the brake hood. So it's not like we're using any energy to carry it. I hope that makes sense. Your hand's normally on the brake hood. All we do is we extend our fingers to slip that in there. That's why we don't make a big deal out of it. But a lot of other riders wonder how we do that. But I really think it's because they're not fitted to their bikes. People who are not fitted to their bikes have to grip those things. They don't just grip their hands. That's why they can't appreciate that. So it does start with fit. You can carry stuff, you know. So yeah, let's see. I'd be pretty sketched out riding in a bunch with that. LOL, not being able to get to the brakes quickly. See, that's another thing. Nothing stops me from getting to the brakes because it's resting. My palm is on the brake hoods. It's slipped in here. My finger's still in the same position it normally is when it's not there. You can brake and you can shift. It's almost like you're holding a fatter brake hood. Like you got two things. Instead of that, you've got that and this. That's what it is. You still have the function of your finger. I shift, fine. We use it on the left side because we don't shift that much. And I explain why. There's a combination. It's not the only reason. It's because when you're riding, the riders are over to the right. We want to keep that lens to the left. That's why it's on the left. I'll put it in the right. It does not affect that. You just have to use it. So really, no, that's not an issue. And I guess that's why Chris wanted me to talk about it and show it. Let's see here. So no safety strap to hold the device to the wrist of arm. No, it's not necessary. There's no reason for anything because, like I said, it's just draped on there. You're holding it. We don't need a strap around your wrist. It's not going to fall out of your hand. The handle is like a soft rubber. It really feels good in your hand. So you don't get wet. Your hand, even in the summer, it's not sweaty or slippery or anything. So it's just there. You just rest it next to the brake hoods, and it's just there. Your fingers drape under it. It doesn't bounce around. It doesn't move. It just sits in there. So we've never had a need. I have the strap in the package. We've never had a need to put that crap around our wrist. You know, if it falls, but it's never fallen, and I don't see what would make it fall. It's not moving around. Basically, we set it and forget it. Like I explained, you're not holding onto it very tight. It's just resting on your finger. But your hand has no weight on it. Your hand are resting, draping over the brake hoods. So you're not using any more energy to carry it. It's just like you have a fatter brake hood. You just wrap your hand around it. It's one of those things you have to use to really see. But where your questions make sense, the guys that we ride with, many people wonder how we do that. And I just tell them, like, don't think about it. We've been doing it for like 2 years now. Let's see. Yeah, that's why we get those angles, George. Because if I were to mount it, I have mounts. It's boring. Everybody mounts the cameras. You watch videos on YouTube, look like you're looking in a tube. I want you guys to see what we see. So we move it around. We'll put it on the left. When we're moving it, you can't even tell. When I hand the camera over to Paul, if you don't see our shadow, you can't even tell I'm giving him the camera because the gimbal stabilizes it. So the frame stays the same and will change. He'll hand it to me. I'll hand it to him. And the guys we ride with, yes, they're just like you guys. They wonder how we do that because quite a few of them have bad fits. And like I've told people here, when I go ride, I'm not out there to bother people about fits. Unless they come to me, I don't say anything. I'm there to ride. That's it. You know, they can find the channel just like you guys did. That's my attitude. I'm not there to sell them stuff. Let's see. I wondered how you got those views. We'll try. Thanks. So no safety. None of that. Then we got 2C, that's 35, and 10C is 50. Yep, cold, but lots of sun. 2C, what is 35 or 50? Cold is cold, guys. Because here in Houston, we have high humidity. It's like being wet and go outside. That's how it is here. So yeah, we may not get the cold to stick around long enough, or we not get the snow. When it drops below 50 here, it's cold. It feels like you're 35 in New York or 50 because it's like you got out of the pool and it's cold. Because that's why in the summer, some of you guys heard my shoes were so smelly because your feet sweat. We're right by the Gulf. The sea is like 1 hour by car from us, which is not very far. 50 minutes you're at the beach. So yeah, there's just moisture here all year. So you can't go by temperature. That's why we walk outside. Before I ride, I go outside to make sure, because our temperature here, you can't go by numbers. And there are days when it will be 50 and feel like 65 when the wind shifts from the south. So we really have to dress carefully. So it's important that you realize that you can't just do numbers here. And I'm sure it's true for most of you guys that live on the coast. Like if you're in Manhattan, you guys are right by the water too. So it can be colder than it feels like, temperature wise. So you really have to watch that. Let's see. I've ridden a compact crankset in 1128 for a few years now. Okay. What's the model of that hat? It's called the Deep Winter Hat. Just go to Rafa and search rafa.cc and search for the Deep Winter Hats or winter hats. You'll see it. It's one of the staples. They sell that. I bought that almost 2 years ago. That's what, like I said, I hadn't been using it much because I thought it was too warm, not realizing that by wearing it in this manner, my head gets to breathe more, because it's amazing how much warmer you feel when you just flip that down. Paul had to remove his hat today because he had a balaclava and a lighter Pro Team hat, and he removed the Pro Team hat, and it was a big difference. So when you're riding in this in cold weather, you have to be willing to stop and adjust your kit. I'd much rather have more stuff than less stuff. So I don't mind stuffing them in my pockets. I had my glove liner on, and then the deep winter gloves. I took out, once it got to like 10C, I took out off the deep winter gloves. At first, I took off the deep winter glove and took out the liner. Then I went with the deep winter glove, but it still felt warm. And so I put the deep winter gloves in my pocket and wore just the liners, and that felt perfect. So you just got to be willing to play around, because when we start climbing, I was getting hot. Let's see here. Would moving to a semi-compact crank be a good way to force you to work harder up the hills? Not necessarily, Cardi's gent. I don't know if it'll force you. Even if you have a compact, put it in the 50 or put it in the 34 and move down the block. Don't worry about that. Don't be spending money. Just ride. Ride what you have. Paul rides a compact. Paul has a 3450, and he just rides it. When he's on a 34, if the road's flat, he moves it further down the block. In fact, somebody over the weekend came, I think it was 2 weeks ago or maybe this weekend, but he said some rider told him, "Do you know you're in the small chain ring?" And he said he laughed, like, how am I not going to know? Because everybody just throws it in the big chain ring, because we have 4 to 6% generally, and a lot of flats in between. So everybody just puts it on a big chain ring and leaves it there. And a lot of them tend to be overgeared. I ride the big chain ring in the group because I don't want to mess with the small chain ring, because I got a 36 on the orange bike. But the reason I do is I've got a 28 in the back. So if I'm in a 52, I got a 52 on that. So a 52-25, which is the non-cross chaining spot that I start with. A 52-25 is a pretty easy gear. I can go over most things. So I know I've got plenty of room. So I just leave it in the big chain ring. It's the ratios that matter. It's not whether you want to do. You don't need the gears to make you push yourself. What you need to focus on is what zones you need to be in. We train by zones. I don't depend on the gear doing anything. You need to know what zones you need to be in. Most of our rides are easy. I started loading stuff on Strava for this holiday season. I enable it to make public all the weekday rides. So usually I just do the weekends, because I get hundreds of kudos, and after a while, it's just a lot to manage. So I've turned off the alerts, but I still get emails and stuff. So after this season, by January, I will go back to where I'll only make public the group ride. But the point I'm making is, during the week, we're not killing ourselves. We're conditioning, and we pick the terrain. You don't need to kill yourself up a hill to get strong. You just need to ride them. Just go ride. And if you want to push harder, shift to another gear. You don't need to go buy anything. Use what you have. Put it on the 50 if the 34 is too small for you. Okay. I'm going to call this guy DPC2. He's in New York. Whenever he puts a comment, I'm going to call him by his last 4 letters. I kind of like that blue Rafa thermal jersey. Yes, Stefano, Paul and I both have that, and we wore them today. And what I told Paul is the jerseys we have are the same. We need to let each other know when we're wearing it so we can wear it, so we can be like a team. You know, yes, this jersey is very, very functional, very warm, very practical, and it handles varying temperatures very well. All I wore today in 2C was base layer, this jersey, and the insulated jacket. I didn't call it thermal jacket over this. And what I like about the Rafa stuff is they fit like sleeves. So each layer just covers the other one. You're not out there like the Michelin man. Everything looks tight. They can't even tell you got a jersey underneath. That's the quality, you know. That's the way you're supposed to be. All right. Hey, John Bailey. Glad you could make it. Haven't seen you in a long time. John Bailey's in California, I believe, if I remember correctly. What is the best part of your Kish bike? I'm thinking of getting one. Jordan Taylor. What is the best part of your Kish bike? Now, that's a tough question, Jordan. The best part. I think I know what you mean, so I'm going to answer it this way. The Kish bike, what I like most about it is just set it. It's like a Timex. Not in terms of Timex being less expensive versus a Rolex, but in terms of durability. I set up that bike. I have had to do nothing to it. I ride the crap out of it. All my bikes, when I ride them, as soon as I get home, those of you who've been there longer, I clean them up. I use my Simple Green. That's why you see it looking like that. I take care of my bikes. I keep them clean. But I ride it, and I've had to do nothing to it. Kish built the bike to such tight tolerances that my bottom bracket shell, I had to screw it in because I use English. I use Campagnolo, and I use the English bottom bracket. Everything fit together like a Lego kit. I've been building bikes for a long time. It was the easiest build. I've mentioned that before. Everything fit. Once I did that, I just ride the bike. Nothing comes loose. You know, and the reason I'm saying that, not because he started sponsoring us. My blue bike was the opposite. You know, the guy left paint in the thread, so I had to take it to the shop to get it chased because I don't have a chasing tool. I don't build bikes that much. So yes, I like the low maintenance and I like the acceleration. Every effort makes that bike go forward. And the fact that I don't have to think about it, titanium is just solid. Then the other thing he did that other people don't usually do, he put a sleeve inside the seat tube so that you don't have to worry about that seat tube bracket ever cracking on the frame. And it's on his site. It's something that he does. So it's reinforced. It's 27.2, but he put a sleeve inside the titanium sleeve to where us big guys are not going to worry about it cracking. I've had a lot of bikes when I used to compete. That area there where the lugs are, where the two tubes meet on seat, they can crack. So yeah, low maintenance, great quality, and you just set it and forget it, and it rivals the best carbon stuff out there. You know, I just have, you know, for me, I'm a big guy. My bike weighs 17 pounds. That's pretty close. That's great. And it's not just the weight, the performance. When you step on that thing, it performs. So when the ride means something, I'm on the Kish. You know, the blue bike from Lighthouse Cycles is also close in weight, but the performance is different. So they have different characters. It's kind of like when you have kids. Different characters. So the Kish is frisky. The blue bike is a bulldog. It likes to pick fights. It's very aggressive. The Kish is a blend of aggression but classic styling. You know, it's hard to describe. You got to ride it. That's the best way. And the Colnago I can ride all forever because it just soaks up everything. So all of them just have their character. Let's see here. Mike G, glad you could join us. He said he'll catch up later. That's fine, Mike. All right. Well, it is like most do not ride with one arm, and when one arm in fatigue sets in so often, things carrying a camera is tiring. We're not carrying the camera. The camera just sits next to the hood. We drape our fingers down, and the camera just fills that gap. We're not carrying it. There's no weight in our hands. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to see. The rubber on that handle just grabs onto the rubber on the hood. It just sits there. There is no weight. So there's nothing to get tired. That's what I mean. If it weren't practical, I wouldn't be doing it. It does not impact your ability to shift. Shifting might not be as smooth because it's there and it's bulkier, but you can brake and do whatever. Yeah. It's not and safety is not an issue. What is your advice of the size for larger size rider? Tire size. I'm 190. I ride 25s and 28s. Nothing stops bigger riders from riding 23, but there's no reason to do that since the bigger tires are more comfortable and they roll better. So yeah, there's no reason to ride little tires. You're a big guy, over 160 pounds, get a 25 minimum. I ride a 28 on the rear and a 25 in the front, but I could do 28, no problem. It's just that they won't fit my frame. The next frame I get, I've already talked to Kish. Next frame I get, I would have him set it up to take up to a 32 in front and back because I'm going to be riding bigger tires. That just makes sense. You guys see, I'm not having problems getting up to speed. And what I'm telling you, what I noticed, I hit a lot of bumps. You saw the video last Saturday. Those roads, because they're quiet, they're not paved all the time. And so when it rains, water gets over it, you get cracks. And so they're bumpy. We hit some bumps and my wheel is still perfect. I think it's a combination of the fact that I stand up, but also the size of the tires makes a difference. So yeah, no reason to go small. You're a big guy, 250, whatever, get some 25s or 28s. Let's see. Do you wear that hat? Yes, Mary. It was under my helmet. I wish I had the helmet here. I'd put it on. It was under my Giro synth. And I didn't have to do an adjustment. In fact, I mentioned that to Paul. He was standing outside. When Paul comes, he's outside in the driveway. I try not to leave him out there too long because I have my bike out already. And I try to come out there and dress with him, just finishing up helmet, shoes, whatever, where possible. And so I put on the helmet and I mentioned that to him. Like, wow. Didn't have to adjust anything. Just put the synth on to fit over. They're designed to be worn under your helmet. Some helmets you may need to just loosen, maybe give it one more notch. I know that my white Mixino cat, what is it called? What is the brand? I forgot the brand. It eludes me right now. The Movistar team wears it, got all those little beehive looking holes in it. That I have to adjust in the Mixino. I have to adjust the strap just a little bit. But I always set my helmets to where I've got a notch. But yeah, this, yeah, it's designed. It worked great. We did almost 6 hours today. So we just took off. We were bike bums today. Took off, left about 8:45, 8:50. I broke a spoke in the driveway, put too much torque on the wheel at an odd angle. So it delayed us. So I had to swap the wheel out. Okay, let's see here. This is... Okay, Stefano Mancini. Okay, Stefano, he has to leave. Cross chaining. So I guess you would never go the 1X Grupo. I'm not sure what that means, but I don't cross chain. It's inefficient and it puts too much strain on your components. And you can break stuff if you power it too much. I'd much rather have the chain as straight as possible, especially when I'm climbing, if I'm putting a lot of torque. So yeah, there's no reason you have to cross chain. That's 11 gears. And then you got a small chain ring. If you understand gear ratios, the 53, let's say I have a 25 on the back, 1225 on some of my wheels. The 5323 is not cross chaining, but the 5325 is. Well, the 5325 is like a 55 or 57 inch gear. So instead of riding the 5325, I can put it on a 3919, and that's the same ratio. That's what I'm talking about. There's no reason to do that because it's not efficient. The chain is at an extreme angle. You're taking more watts to produce the same speed. So why do that? So even if it weren't hurting my drivetrain if you stay there long, it's just not efficient. Now, caveat, like everything in cycling, If you're hanging on with a group and these boys are, you know, they're hitting it and you're feeling good and you're having fun, and you come to a climb, and let's say you're in the 53-23 and all you got is that extra 25, and that's what you need to just get over that hump with the boys that you're hanging with, nothing's wrong with that. You do that for a short time and then you shift back. So yeah, but to be in there all the time, no, that's not a good idea. Don't do that. Let's see here. What navigation device do you use for a long ride? Garmin. I use a Garmin, but yeah, we used to do rides where I would go on Garmin Connect. It's a free site. When you get Garmin stuff, they let you just sign up, free account, and you load your stats there. And I would build a route or course and download it for new places that we're exploring. We went to Shiro, Beat Ice, and different places. So yes, Garmin is excellent. It's like the stuff in your car. It does turn by turn. I think we even filmed it on one of the rides. So yeah, it's excellent. I use Garmin. That's all I have. Let's see here. And then Adrian Baeza. I drive a semi-truck all over the country and ride as much as possible when I can. What gear ratio do you recommend that I can use on hills and flats? I carry an extra wheel with different cassette. I can't give you that kind of advice because I don't know what you can handle. I will answer it this way. Use a gear that does not cause you to go below 70 RPMs on your cadence meter. If you don't have a cadence meter, then invest in one. Start with that. That's your determining factor. Pick whatever combination that will allow you to keep your cadence on top of the gear, to where that gear belongs to you. It doesn't own you, if you know what I mean. You're the master of the gear. Okay. Good morning from the Philippines. I think it's Dinko. Clarito Dinko. Yeah. Hope I said that correctly. And then Adrian Baeza says, but I have to do rear derailleur calibration. But my time sometimes is very limited and do not ride as long as I want. Your time is limited. Isn't time a precious resource? Why is your time limited? What are you doing with your time? You didn't tell us that. Time is limited for everyone. It's a matter of choices. So if your time is limited because you're selling your time to earn money, to pay for stuff, you're going to have to reevaluate how much those things are worth to you. I made a video about that. You know, you have to make a choice. You can't have it all. You want to work all the time? You're not going to have time. You're not going to have time to spend the money. You know, so that's the thing. If you're working all the time, you can't even enjoy it. So yeah, you need to decide what's important and then manage your time. We manage our time. That's why Paul and I don't stop. When we're riding, we don't want to stop. On Sunday, we already talked about it. On Sunday, when we ride, if we pick up that group, because sometimes we head out and they're riding, you know, different guys ride on Sunday. We're not going to wait for them when they do all these stopping. We're just going to go because we're not filming on Sunday. We just go. We just go. We want our moving time to be close to the elapsed time of being out there. When we're out there, we want to be riding so we can be done and go do something else instead of wasting it. So, yes, time is very limited. It's very precious. So you choose what you spend it on. And that's why I've made the comment. I don't have a lot of friends. And I don't think it's productive to have a lot of friends. Who's got time to manage a lot of friends? Focus on quality. Same thing. Quality time. So you're going to have to make some choices. Maybe whatever your reason that's eating up the time, if it's a job, once you get your stuff paid up or whatever you're doing, don't buy any more stuff so you can have time and stop working so much. You know, anyway, let's go to something else. As an ex-racer, it is amazing that you have only 2 bikes and what? And Ferris at that. I'm not sure what Ferris means. What do you mean by Ferris? You need to be clear when you communicate. I don't have a dictionary right here. I don't understand what that means. Is there a particular number of bikes an ex-racer should have? We don't keep those things. We give them away. Because a lot of times they give you a bike that doesn't fit you that well. You just race and you give it away. A lot of the racers give their bikes away. When they finish racing, they buy their own. Those carbon bikes you guys are all crazy about, ex-racers don't buy carbon bikes. That's why the custom builders are thriving. They don't spend their money on that plastic stuff. They've seen it break in races. They weren't buying them. So no, I didn't keep any of my team bikes. I gave them away. They didn't fit. The fit was different all the time. You had to communicate to them, you need to make this size. They gave me bikes. Sometimes I was too big. They said, oh, you need to be on a 58. Because a lot of the bikes, like the Pinarellos, would have a short top tube in the smaller sizes. They weren't doing them custom. So I'd do a 58 to have a longer top tube. Back in the day, we had quill stems. So, that's why I ride -17 stems. I'm used to being 90 degrees with the road. The stems back then kept you at 90 degrees with the road. I don't do stems that point up. It's not a mountain bike. There's no reason. So I see riders that they're sitting up catching the wind for what? No. Racers look like greyhounds. Look at the guys in Europe racing. You're not going to see anybody sitting up. All these bikes around here, you see them selling. They got these riders sitting up like they're on a beach cruiser. So no. I have 3 bikes right now. I call N+1. And they work fine. I have plans for other bikes, but it needs to fill a purpose. I don't want to just have bikes. Because I don't have a lot of stuff, I have time to ride. I'm not working 100 hours a week to pay for stuff. Let's see here. Scott, C-I-C, C-Y-A-S-I. How you doing, Elder? I need to get a pair of shorts. Do all gel padding give you that diaper feel when wet? Is foam a better choice? I don't own a gel padded short. I don't think it's necessary. What problem are you trying to solve? If you're uncomfortable, you start with making sure that bike fits you. The short's not going to make up for a bad fit. You're just going to have more things bunching up. And when you have a pair of shorts that have a lot of stuff in there, like gel and other pads, it changes your saddle height because you're sitting higher now. And that's going to affect how you relate to the pedals. So you need to get it fitted. You just need a pair of shorts with regular chamois. What do you need gel for? And you need a decent saddle that fits you. So it sounds like you need a fit. It sounds like you got other problems besides your shorts. That's what I'm reading between the lines. Somebody named Baby Tay 920 says, is water wet? And people like these we don't have time for, so I'm going to block them permanently. I don't have time for idiots. This is a serious forum. Just because you have access to the internet, don't waste other people's time. Get a life. So yeah, SW, yeah, we're doing the Festive 500. We're riding. That's what we're preparing for right now. So when it comes, we're going to be ready. We're already doing the kilometers required. We started last week. That's my point. We're not going to just do the Festive 500. We got to get ready for it. We don't usually ride 6 hours on a Wednesday. We're preparing for the Festive 500. So when we do it, we're going to be fit and have fun. That's what this is about. You're correct, SW. That's why last week we started preparing for the Festive 500, which comes at the end of the month. So we've got 3 weeks to ramp up our mileage and be ready. That's what you got to do. Don't do things that you're not ready to do. All right. Thoughts on 5034 compact chain rings? They're just chain rings, Bill. Bill wants to know my thoughts. They're good if you live in a hilly area. They give you lower gears to handle real steep pitches. That's all it is. They got 5034. They got 3652. They got 4252. I mean, down here in Houston, some people when I used to race, they would have 42 as an inner chain ring because it's flat. Most of the races are held in flat courses. But on the north side where I am now, I use a 3652 on the orange bike because we have I'm going to close this because sorry about that, some announcement from my calendar. We have in an area that goes up to 8%. And somebody made the comment, I think it was DPC2. I'm going to use the last 4 letters of his name. He said that he noticed that it was an hour and a half into the ride on Saturday before he saw me get out of the saddle to do anything. You know, I was dodging, whatever. I don't get up because if I stand up, my body recruits more muscles. That's everybody. You stand up on the bike to do an effort. It may look cool, but you use more energy to do that. So I only do that when it's necessary. I'm attacking. There's a hairpin. There's a pitch. I want to get a gear rolling. Yeah. But just riding, I sit down, I use the gears, I downshift and spin. You know, so with a 3450, what was it, 5034, and in a hilly area, you have more choices that keep you in the saddle, which saves your energy. That's all that is. So you need to get one based on where you live and where you ride and your fitness to handle that. So even though I can ride a 3953, for the hilliest areas around here, I chose to purchase just the front chain ring because I already had a 3953 on there. I bought a 3652, and that's what's on the orange bike. Now, I gave up top end speed with the 5212 on a flat road with a lot of tailwind, but in that situation, I use more cadence. If I'm spinning out of 12, I'm going fast enough on a bicycle. So that's the thing. Yes. That's your determining factor. What is going to work for your terrain? All right. Somebody said, let's see, broker spoke. Hope it was not one of those non-standard proprietary spokes that's hard to get. No, my wheels are very inexpensive. I use Campanolo Zondas. You know, I paid $320 for the whole wheel set. Fell in love with it because there was a guy named Robbie McEwen that raced on them, and you know, I saw some article he was using it. I was like, I went and looked on Merlin Cycles and it was $320. I ordered it, used it, liked it so much, bought another set. No, the spoke broke because of me. I was going back to the back door to check if the door was locked before we left. I had the bike at an extreme angle, and then I put torque on the thing when it was time for us to go. And so I overloaded that side, the non-drive side. That's it. The wheels practically new. But that's something I can fix. I can fix anything on a bicycle. So I will get a set of those spokes. They're not special. No. I don't have any of that crazy stuff. Now, doesn't mean they're bad. I had them. I've had Zip. I've had Envy. I sold them because I did not see. I explained on those of you who've been here. Nothing was wrong with the Envy wheels. I hated having to change my brake pads to put them on the bike. That when I use the aluminum wheels to train during the week and I want to use my Envy wheels on the weekend, I had to put special pads for their braking surface. I sold it. I used the money for other things like my kit. Didn't slow me down any. I have Shimano C35 on the orange bike. The carbon and aluminum, the braking surface is aluminum. So I don't have to deal with that. I can put any wheel on that bike during the week and flip it to the C35s on the weekend. No worries. So I like what Shimano did there. And that's how I make my decisions on what to get or whatever. You know, so they're good. They just don't brake very well. And that's why they're pushing disc brakes now. So now you're dealing with a hydraulic system on your road bike that weighs more, require more maintenance. Let them keep it. If an upgrade is something that works better with less headache. So disc brakes on a road bike, I consider them to be a downgrade. You better know how to keep them going and keep up with the pads and all that kind of crap. When they get dirty or glazed over, they're noisy. We've had people on some of the rides, the bike barn. Some guy was there every time. Woo, woo, woo. He's braking. It sounded like a diesel. I was like, come on, man. That's supposed to be an upgrade. You know, so no, right now they're going to have to improve that technology. Now, disc brakes are great on a cyclocross bike. Makes sense. Nobody wants mud on their rims and try to brake. Mountain bike, great. So if you buy a road bike and you bind it now and it comes with discs and you get money, I mean, basically you say, okay, I've got the money. I love this bike. It comes with discs. By all means, get it. Why? Because you're buying a bike that has it already. You're not throwing away rim brakes to put disc brakes, calling it an upgrade. No. And they have different quality of disc brakes out there. So you got to do your homework. There are better ones than some of the ones that came out earlier. It's continuous improving. You guys know that. So yeah, I'm not an anti-disc brakes, but don't get me wrong on that. If I were buying a new bike and it came with disc and whatever, My only caveat would be, those of you who have it might know. Robert Tangler, thank you, my brother. Super chat from Robert there, Robert Tangler. So what I'm saying is, those of you who have disc brakes will know that some of them don't work very well. So you got to go back to the shop, and then they're not up to speed on the technology at the shop, and you back and forth. I've heard people tell me. Now, the other thing is they have proprietary axles, the skewer on the newer bikes, to where they don't have a nut on the other side. So now you can't put it on your trainer because it's discs. I have a problem with that, because then you got to go buy an adapter if you want to put the bike on your trainer. Why don't they just use the discs on the bike and use the same stuff? What if you go do a big ride and you have a problem with your wheel? You want to be able to use a regular wheel in there, but then that's another challenge. So you see what I'm talking about? It's like it's in between. It's not mainstream yet. So just be careful about that. You know, they're good. You know, you see the ones the pros ride. I'm sure the mechanics keep it tuned so it looks good on TV. But when you get one, you won't have a mechanic, so you got to do your research. Get a good one that requires low maintenance and has a skewer system that's not proprietary. Those big fat ones they have, where you just screw from one side, you know, and then you're the only one who got that kind of wheel. Then what? Nobody can help you. So let's see here. Robert just did a super chat. I thought he was going to put a comment on there, but thanks, Robert. All right. So let's see who's next here. What did I do? Okay. Why did Elder decide to not ride the Tour de France? I was not at Tour de France level. Not every professional rider can ride the Tour. Even the guys on the big teams, you have to prepare for that. That's 21 days of that kind of riding. You got to really get yourself ready and see if your body's for that. I was not at that level. I didn't have a full salary. I did not have an international license. I only did U.S. stuff. So no, that was not one of the things I was even thinking about. I had a job and I raced. So you know how that goes. Let's see. You mentioned Sir Eldred. This is Clarito Dinko. You mentioned, Sir Eldred, that you haven't used oval chainring in your reply to my message. Yes, I only use the standard stuff that comes with my bikes. I never had them because they don't come on the bikes I've had. Let's see, did you have some study or insights about oval chainring, and may I know why did you not use one? Yeah, it wasn't. Here's the way I can put it. There's a lot of things out in the world. I don't need to experience all of them. If you try to, it wouldn't be possible. So all the bikes generally that I had came with standard chain rings. I had no desire or need to go spend money to buy oval chain rings to swap out what's on the bike. I just rode what was there. So if the bikes came with oval chain rings, I would be riding them today. I hope that clears it up for you. So whatever's got you onto oval chain ring, whatever marketing or article you read, I don't know. But I'm just saying, keep your money in your pocket and ride what you have. They're not going to make you any faster. The people that ride them, they like them. Some people tried them and hated them and then went back. So I'm not going to have to spend money on stuff to try. No, they want you to try it. Let them send it to you. And then you try it on their dime. So let's see. Randy Hungo. During the week, are you and Paul doing structured training? That's good. Randy, we only train. We don't ride. I hope that clears it up. Those of you who've been here long, you know, I think Randy's kind of new. We don't ride. Every ride has a purpose. That's what training means. It doesn't mean you're killing yourself. Training can mean today is easy. That's training. That means when you're out there, you don't go chase somebody who passes you. Focus. So yes, we only train. If we come to the group ride and we feel crappy, we will sit in, suck wheel, they call it, and film. I only play when I feel good. I don't feel good, I ain't doing nothing. That's the way you do it. It's the same thing the pros do. If they go, you watch the Tour de France, when the sprinters are sprinting the first few days of that first week, do you see Quintana? Do you see Froome? No, they stay out of trouble. They don't want to crash. They stay out of trouble because they're saving that energy for what they're there for, their goals. So then all of a sudden the mountains, they show up. And then the same sprinters who are winning, they go home because they missed the time limit maybe. So yes, you have to have a plan always. So when we leave the house, we already know where we're going, how long, how far, how hard. What's the purpose of this ride? Today was to ride hills and get tired. This was a hard day. It didn't mean that we went full gas. We went long in very difficult terrain. That would make you tired too. That's why we did it on a Wednesday. I talked about it the last time. If we did it tomorrow, then we'll only have Friday to rest. And that's too risky. You may not be recovered. So now we got Thursday and Friday to rest. Rest does not mean don't ride. Tomorrow we are riding, but we're going to just twiddle the gears, enjoy the sights, harass the neighbors, whatever. Just go out and shoot the breeze and spin. And we're going to find a route that will allow us to ride two abreast most of the time so we can discuss things. That's training. So we're training our body tomorrow to rest. Today we train our body to work. Yesterday we did shorter, well, it was 4 hours, I guess. That's what I told Paul. Our short ride is 4 hours. That's ridiculous. It should be 2 hours. And he laughed. So yes, we only train. I talked about it because I'm passionate about it. Don't just go out. Have a plan. When we're riding and people pass or whatever, say hi. We don't care. We don't know them. What we're going to follow them for. We have a purpose. We focus. Let's see here. Clarito Dinko. I'm just curious about science and experience. Yeah, that's fine, Clarita. Clarita's talking about the oval chainring stuff. Read up about it. Don't spend any money on it. It doesn't do anything. It's not going to make you faster. Either you're fast or you're not. All that other crap, what makes you fast is you. You got to already be fast to make the equipment do something. So when someone says a bike is fast, it's fast if a fast rider is on it. If you're slow, you're slow. We see guys with $15,000 bikes going 15 miles an hour. We pass them on our, $2,000 bike, whatever. I'm on my Colnago Master, the frame, what was it, $3,000, let's say. And my $300 set of wheels, $160 for the front. They got $3,000 wheels. We're passing them. Doesn't matter. It's you. So save the money so you have time to ride. John Bailey, interesting view on having too many friends. Yeah, well, I agree. How are you going to manage them? If I had a lot of friends, I wouldn't be able to ride. My phone would be ringing all the time. No, focus on quality. And I will talk about this. The police officers, I used to be friends with some of them. Whenever there's a murder, they start looking at friends, family, whatever. And one of the police officers made a joke. He said, the people who know a lot of people get killed. The people who don't know a lot of people live longer. Let's see. Hello from Boston, Daniel Otero. That name is familiar. Bergen Snuff. Hello, how was or is your day? My day was fabulous. I got to ride my bike. Whenever I ride my bike, it's a glorious day. Hello from Ohio, Bergen Snuff. Okay. Thanks, Elder Bill McCollins. Okay. Hello from Japan. Okay. Stephen Yavier. I hope I pronounced that right. I made the J silent. Bergen said, oh, wow. Hello. And DPC too. So maybe you would have kept your carbon wheels if you were using disc brakes instead. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I hated changing the pads. It was a pain. The problem would have been it would have been the only bike with disc brakes. That's another reason I consider when I go to a technology like Campy came out with 12 speed. Why do I need another cog? I only use 4 of the 11 I have now. So, I don't, yeah. So I'm like, okay, so if I were to go to 12 now, I would have one bike with 12 and the other ones were 11. I couldn't swap my wheels. Like today I broke a spoke. I just grabbed another wheel, put it on there. I didn't have to take it off of a bike. I have spare wheels, but I can afford spare wheels because they're only $300 a set. I couldn't have zip spare wheels at $3,000 a set. Then that means I wouldn't be able to ride because I'd have to have 4 jobs to pay for that. Let's see. So yeah, next bike will be titanium with discs. I don't know, Cardi. My only problem with I don't know about discs. I don't know when. I guess you mean disc wheel. Oh, disc brakes. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't have a problem with the brakes I have right now. My problem is going fast, not stopping. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I don't have problem stopping. I have problem going fast. Okay, let's see. New subscriber John Marino. Maybe I will get this. I don't know. I'm not anti, but yeah, I'm a very practical person. That's the way I do. I try to maximize my assets. John Marino, new subscriber here. Hello, my brother. John, welcome to the chat. SW, any of you legends gone or using tubeless clinchers? No. The people that we've been around, I mean, I've done the research. I'm always working on people's bikes, but we had a guy, I forgot his name. He used to ride with UMC, and he had the tubeless, and he had a carrier too. So I'm like, what's the point? That's not an upgrade. He had a carrier tube. He took a tube out on one ride, and it took him forever to get the tire off the rim. And I saw him do that. I was like, not for me. And I've read up stories of people having challenges. Now, some people like them. There's a guy on here, Simon Moses, has a setup he seems to like. It's working for him. So I don't want to talk you out of stuff, but I got to tell all of you guys, everybody, guys, girls, whatever, why change what is working for you just because someone comes up with something new? Does that mean it's better because it's new? Do your research. Only change if you're having a problem you need to solve. If it's working for you, keep your money. Money doesn't go bad. Let's see here. Any of you legends going to use it? Okay. Hi, Eldred, hi. Frosty 1. I have an endurance bike. Question, do you think putting a longer stem to get a race bike feel and reduce drag is a good compromise to changing bikes? I don't race. Frosty, regardless of whether the bike is endurance or whatever the manufacturer chose to call it, you should still be able to be fitted to the bike. My caution with some of the endurance bikes, my brother and buddy and best friend, my riding partner, Paul, got a white Cervelo, and I believe it's close to an endurance bike. The challenge we had was the head tube was very tall for him for how he likes to sit. So we ended up compromising, meaning what we did was we got him the stem length that he needed, minus 17 angle, triple T stem, and we got a bar with a deep drop, the handlebars. So we're able to get him close, and he loves it. Now, that story is the fact that it may not work for you, so you need to be careful in this manner. Since you didn't get a bike sizing done or whatever before you bought the bike and you have it, the caution is any decent bike fitter should be able to get you close. You shouldn't have to sit high because the bike is an endurance bike. And it's not necessarily the length of the stem that makes you aero. The length of the stem deals with the length of your wingspan, the hands that you have. Okay? That's what's going to determine that. And then the height of the stem from the saddle will lower you. But you can only go so far. That's why people talk about slamming the stem. You move the spacers or whatever. So it sounds like you could use a fit versus buying a bike. But go with a fitter that will size you. When people get my ultimate fit, they also get a bike sizing thrown in. The reason is that even though somebody's fitting you to a bike you already have, it may not be the optimal bike for you, but it should still be able to get you okay. And then I give people their real size to say, if you buy another bike, this is what you do. One of our legends, our super legends here, Chris Roxbury, bought our bike sizing. So he already knows what size works for him. Next time he walks into a store or whatever, he doesn't have to listen to some guy. He knows what size fits him. So that's the key, okay? So look into a fit and don't go buy another frame if you haven't had a fit to know what size you want, because you should be throwing money out there and hoping that it works. I hope that answered you. So you need a fit if you're worried about reducing drag, because they will get you as optimal as they can with the frame you already have. I always err on the side of having people use what they have and tell them to buy a new frame. But what I do tell them is, this one's not perfect for you. Your next one, these are your numbers. That's what you need. Robert Tengler, I had to donate nitrogen nitrogen to a tree. Yeah, I fertilized a tree. Robert's teasing me. Somebody had a flat in the last group ride we filmed on Saturday. I used that opportunity because when it's cold in the morning, sometimes, even when it's not cold, an hour or so, I felt like peeing. And I could have written, but I'm like, why not use this opportunity? So I found one of the local trees. The trees need it. They use it. So, I went and found a tree, peed while he was fixing his tire. That's what Robert's talking about. Let's see here. Patch Pike. Hello from Ireland. Love your channel. Welcome. Welcome. Great advice all the time. I'm back on my bike after a break. I'm mixing it up when I'm out cycling, doing sprinting, going hard, shocking the body. Okay. That's all good and well, but make sure you still have days where you just put the hours in and twiddle and spin, it's fun. If you feel good doing it, knock yourself out. I use the dogs to sprint because I don't have to think like I'm working. Dogs are chasing me. Paul and I know we try to keep the dogs behind us. There are certain places we go where the dogs are not contained in a fence and they're free. We had one that would run alongside you. It was like a farming dog. So he didn't come on the road. And I would race him. And we film that. We don't see him. We go on the same road. It's like he hasn't been there the last month. So I'm concerned about the dog that I don't even know because he's like a training partner, my sprinting partner. So we kind of miss him. But yes, sprint for the light. Sprint for the light. Sprint for the corner. Have fun with it. That's what it's about. Life's too short. Have a blast. So good to hear you. Thanks for sharing. Let's see. Carlito said, thank you. So I answered the question. Great. You're welcome. How will you train for Pike Peak Hill Climb Challenge? Pike Peak. I'm not familiar with it, but I kind of have an idea. I've seen some of the things online or the advertising. It sounds like a time trial where you're climbing. When they talk about a challenge, I don't know. Maybe I'm off. I don't really know. But whatever it is, you want to mirror the duration and your effort, meaning whatever you can sustain for a similar situation. Now, let's say you don't have any hills and you want to do a Pike Peak challenge. Find out how many miles it is or kilometers or how many hours it takes the average person to do or the slowest person. And then you can ride a flat road into the wind. So you learn to work on the load because when you're climbing, that's load, and learn to pace yourself. That's the key. Okay. That's how I would train. I would train my body to pace and be able to work at a sustained effort. The challenge will be how much time you have to prepare and so forth. So that kind of training stuff, when the questions come, I don't mind answering, but I can't go into too much detail because I don't know where you are with your fitness, and what kind of training plan you have, if any. So if it means a lot to you, like the guy Abel Baget that signed up for our coaching, and he did the Tour de Etape last year and was very successful. You may want to consider either our coaching plan or one of the training plans, and then we can kind of get more details out of you because on the website, you'll be able to send some stats when you sign up. So I think you should look into that. Then I will be able to give you good answers. Right now, I can only be general. Let's see here. Benno Fay, when you do early rides, what do you eat pre-ride? Oh, great question. I don't eat any solids. Now, I start preparing for my rides the day before. I don't miss any meals. Okay? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. On the bike, we take food. But let's focus on pre-ride. So let's say you've been eating consistently. You're not going to bed starving. Because if you're behind and you get up, then you want some oatmeal or something in there. So for me, we get up so early. I get up at 5:30 to get ready for the group ride. I will use that. So since it's so early, I don't want solids. So I drink electrolytes. Whatever you have. If you have Gatorade, you drink that. Usually as I walk out the door, I'm drinking a Gatorade. And then I take my gels, my SIS nutrition gels. Go to our website, recommended cycling products, they're there. But I take 4, let's say if we're going to ride, I take 1 for each hour. Then I add an extra one just to have, because you never know. Sometimes the body needs more. And then I take granola bars. I take the banana bread that I did the recipe for, and I have that. You want to have some solid so you're not just doing gels. So pre-ride very early, electrolytes. Get ready. I use the restroom. That's important. And maybe I'll do a video about pre-ride stuff. It's important that you use the facilities, because what happens is if you don't and you don't feel comfortable on the bike, your whole system won't function very well. So you have to get up early enough so you have time to get into your morning. And if you usually drink coffee, take your coffee, walk out on the porch, check out the weather, see if you're wearing the right kit. That's what we do. And just ease into it until you're not rushing. So electrolytes to start as you go out the door is good. If you can handle solids, if it's later in the morning, it's usually around your breakfast time, then do oatmeal. And the reason is oatmeal will release the energy over like a 2 to 3 hour period. It's really good. It has a low glycemic index, meaning it's not quick energy like candy. So oatmeal, Paul likes oatmeal. Sometimes we'll stop at, was it Starbucks? I think it was Starbucks that sell you oatmeal in the little cup. We'll buy it in his truck when we're going to Grand Fondos, and we'll eat the oatmeal. So oatmeal, whatever you can take down, and then make sure you have food in your pocket. Every hour or less, eat something. Meaning, if you're going really fast, do a gel. If you're going slower, whatever you like to eat, eat something. Don't fall behind. You don't want to finish that ride hungry, because then you make bad food choices, okay? All right. Let's see here. Let's see. New to your channel. Do you still race? No, Bill, I don't race anymore. I stopped racing in 2002. I raced from 1988 to 2002. I stopped because a lot of traveling. I have fun doing it. And, I got little girls now. I'm raising some fun. But we do Grand Fondos right now. Now, nothing stops me from getting a license to go do a USCF race if I wanted to. The guys I'm riding with, like Mo and them, they still race. So I could do a race. But I just, I've been there, done that, all over Georgia, Texas, Colorado. So, yeah. So now, yeah, I could still race. I'm still fit enough to race. And then I would do maybe masters or 50 plus. They have different categories that you can do. I would do that. The kind of mileage we're doing now, we're doing more miles now than when I raced. I was telling Paul today, I didn't do too many 6-hour rides. I had a full-time job. I was doing stuff and other stuff. So I'm still fit. So, yeah, we're riding with people that are racing as well. You see the Team IR guys, the riders like a race. They're crazy. That's how road races are. People just do stuff, and that's why we love them. So, yes, I don't anymore, but we do Grand Fondos, and well, I guess we do a race every Saturday, if you put it that way. It's just not sanctioned. We had a guy who almost threw up. So we're not playing. All right, let's see here. I'm trying to get everybody here. So those of you who are missing, you might want to consider a super chat. I'm looking for all my super chatters. I got to take care of them. So let's see here who we have. Okay. Have you ever had any close calls with cars while riding? Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? I've been riding my whole life. Of course. We get that all the time. Call them morons. Anyway. Not to the, I mean, I don't try to instigate anything. I'm just saying we mutter to each other. What is your feeling on potentially being hit by a car? I'm not laughing at you. It's just that what I don't want to be hit by a car. I don't think anybody does. I enjoy commuting by bike, but every story I read about someone getting hit scares me. Okay. Don't let the story scare you. Life goes on. I mean, stuff happens. All you can do is be safe. You have to operate your bicycle like you drive your car. And you get busy living and quit worrying about what might happen on the outlier. Yes. Now, it doesn't mean that I made a comment on the channel. I said, I think in the last live stream, if you commute, be 4 times as careful. The reason being, you got people in and out of shopping centers, where we ride just to get there. Yeah, we've got to deal with that. Okay. In fact, my riding buddy, Paul, lives 15 minutes from my house by car. And he drives to my house because the road to his house has so many knuckleheads that there's more close calls. So he doesn't even ride to my house very frequently, even though he can. I've ridden that stupid road, and when I ride it, it's like war. I got to plant myself to where these people understand you need to move around. You know, even in my car on that road, because Houston's a very car city, okay? And they're very aggressive. So even when I'm driving my car, because when I drive, I don't speed around, meaning I want to see what's on my route. I'm not just interested in the destination. I want to see, you know, okay, there's a coffee shop there. There's this. That's what I stay in the right lane, and I stay at the speed limit or below. The reason being is I'm tired of paying tickets. I did that in my 20s. It's expensive. So now I'm wiser and older. Why keep giving money to the state? So I stay in the right lane. I obey the speed. They're mad because it says 45 and I'm doing 44 and 0.8. They're mad. Go around. There's a left lane. No, they'll come ride your bumper. And that's for me, that's unnerving because I don't know their skill level in drive. I take driving very seriously. I don't know their skill level. So what I do in those instances when they tailgate me, I put my car in neutral and just let it slow down with the friction of the road. And the morons eventually figure out I need to go around. That's how I do. So yes, that's just people in Houston just rushing around. Not just Houston's everywhere, but we seem to have a high percentage of aggressive drivers in Houston generally because our insurance for cars just up I think we might be #1. It's pretty bad. It's always been like that. I don't know why. But, you know, as far as biking in the city, it's not that bad. But if you're sharing roads with these guys, half of them aren't paying attention. I've seen people driving down the road. I was telling Paul about it, doing this. I'm behind this lady on Saturday afternoon. We were taking my daughter to her concert. The car is going forward. She's doing this. She's the only one in the car. I flashed my lights. Then she looked in the mirror. Because the other car was like a quarter mile ahead. Because she's reading something in the console. And the cars, I'm like, that's what happens. That's why people get hit. It's not because the road's bad. It's because they're not paying attention. They're coming out of the mall. They're dealing with something on the seat. Instead of waiting home to see that garment they just bought, they want to mess with it. Everybody wants to multitask, and not everybody can do that very well. Paul and I joke about it. Multitasking is overrated. You're missing out on something. If you try to watch a movie and read a book, you're missing out from the book and the movie. You can't do it. You got to pick, you know, so don't be scared. Just understand that you need to put yourself in a position on the road so they understand you're using that lane. Do not ride on the edge of the road so they can squeeze by you. They need to pass you wide. We have an ordinance in the city that most of them don't even know that says you must give us a meter. That's about 3 feet, 3.2 feet when you pass. Okay, that's an ordinance. The mayor put that in place. So because of that, and I'm sure Australia has something like that, I'm aware. I don't know what other countries, but not everybody follows the rules. But you can't let that stop you from living. You know, you got to get out there and just know that I need to help them make the decision. So what I do is we get to a stop sign and they look like they're not sure. A lot of times we tell them, all right, go. You know, we have a lot of 3-way, 4-way stop signs in the neighborhoods. And while we're heading out, you'll come up to the stop sign. They're already there, which means they can go. But they wait till you get there on the bike, on clip, then they want to wave you through. I hate that. Now they want to be courteous. Why did you make me stop before you want to be courteous? You should have started waving me through. Then I wouldn't have on-clipped. So when they do that, I don't go. I tell them, no, you go. You go. You've been there. You go. You know, because it doesn't make any sense. They don't follow the pattern of the traffic at the corners. They do that with cars too. When I go pick up my daughters, get to the 4-way stop sign. Nobody wants to go. Then as soon as one person starts going, they start going, and you know, that's how they have wrecks. You know, so things happen. You must control the situation by placing yourself in the right spot, the spot where the right tire rides. You ride there. You operate your bicycle like a vehicle in the city. Expect them to mess up. They're pulling out of a parking lot. Try to make eye contact. One of the guys here, Ron, said he looks at the left wheel to see if it's moving, the tire facing you. Try to get them, and then put a light on your bike in the city, front and back. That's what we use. We use a light on the bike so that they see you more. A flashing light doesn't need to be expensive. You know, look on the channel here for lights. You will see there's all kinds out there. That makes a difference. It gets their attention. And if you're not sure that they've seen you, you got to be ready to stop. You got to ride defensively. I hope that helps. Okay, let's see here. So somebody would not mind feeling what it's like to ride the expensive bike. So I go to the bike show where they allow rides if you give your credit card. But you're not going to get a feel out of bike show. You got to put some miles on the stuff. Doesn't make a difference, man. I can ride any bike and ride as long as it fits me. I don't worry about that stuff. It's just stuff. You're fit, you're fit. The bike is a small part of it. I mean, you know, if you're racing at the top levels, yeah, you want to be at the same level as your competitor, so you're not at a disadvantage. But just riding around here, it doesn't matter. The marketing got people spending all this money on stuff. The bike industry, my issue is that, and you can probably sense it, it's getting out of hand. So we're not getting more people. We need more people riding bikes so we can have fewer cars on the road. If it continues to get too expensive, nobody's going to be riding bikes. They're bikes. They don't have engines. They shouldn't be costing that much. We're being ripped off. So they need to get real. That's why I bought a Kish. My entire bike was about $5 grand something with super record on it because I cut out the middleman. I sourced my parts. The frame was like 3,000 something. Very reasonable. And custom. Can you imagine? Specialized Venge, 15,000. I mean, that's 3 Kish. Come on. Let's get real. And then the geometry is all whacked. So yeah, just be careful with this stuff they're pushing out. They keep asking for more and giving us less. We should have more bike sizes like we used to back in the day. They'd make 1 centimeter changes. So everybody could get a bike that fit them. Now they got small, medium, large. What the heck is that, a bike or a shoe? Small, medium, large. I guess it all, yeah. You know, come on, man. Let's get real. Okay. Hey, from Austin, Texas. That's my. I used to live in Jester Mountain, Anthony. Would you ever ride a fully vintage bike again, 5 or 6 speed, down 2 shifter? And, oh yeah, I'm old school, man. You should have seen my gloves this Saturday. I had gloves that match my skin, the one with the holes in it that we used to wear. I've got a white one to it too, like crochet. Oh, yeah. I got old school shoes that Jiro made. They call them Empire with the strings. What's his name? Taylor Finney wore it for a while. Yeah, I would ride with the down tube shifters because I don't, you know, it doesn't take much effort to reach down. In fact, the Colnago came with the ability for you to put down tube shifters on there. But I already have my Super Record ergo levers in the parts bin. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're not that much at a disadvantage. In fact, I love those polished aluminum components. You know what I'm talking about. Now everything's carbon and anodized. Paul and I were talking about it. Paul cleaned his wheel last week, had me just drooling. The thing was shiny, just beautiful. I was like, man, how'd you do that? He said he sat down with a rag and went at it. His skewer, you could see between that polished aluminum, beautiful, the real hub. You know, now everything's carbon and they anodize them like the shifter, the derailleur on the Super Record is all carbon. So the beauty of that polished aluminum is all gone. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Let's see here. Tomasello. Anthony Tomasello, that's another Italian. It has to be. The Italians are coming. Hey, from Austin. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And Tomasello. That's Italian. We had a bunch of Italians here. Dev Miller. How do you manage when your girls were much younger? I got myself 2 girls, too. Sometimes it's difficult to get those because to ride, I know you spoke about making an appointment with your bike. Yeah, I'm not a single parent, guys. So I have a wife and we have a 19-year-old daughter that's in college now. She's away. She comes home on the weekends. Well, it's a good question. On the weekends when I ride in the morning, I'm married to somebody who takes it as seriously as I do. In other words, whether it's family and whatever that comes up, Paul and I have talked about it. She would tell them, they would invite us to stuff, you know, whatever event, barbecue, picnic, whatever. And she would say, well, it has to be after his ride. Anything happening on a Saturday, she would say, it has to be after his ride. And her family probably didn't receive it the same way, but she does not allow anything to interfere. And I've mentioned why. She's told me a long time, she said, when you ride, you come back in a really good mood. And when I don't ride my bike, she's worried. Are you sick? She hassles me. If I take a day off on a Saturday, you know, she's like, go ride your bike, whatever. Because she knows it's important to me and I get a lot of joy out of it. So I'm with somebody who wants me to do the things I love. You know, that's the thing. And that's what I look at. I really cherish that. I'm with the right person. In other words, she wants me to do the things I enjoy. Doesn't matter. I see something I like, I want to buy. She said, get it. Sometimes she'll get it for me. So when these guys come on here and say, I'm going to buy this and I'm hiding it, I will sneak it into the house, I always give them hell. Why you got to do that? Be honest with the person you're with. What's the point of a relationship if you're going to be hiding things? Why didn't you just stay single? And you do whatever you want, you know? So no, so she would watch the kids in the morning. I'd go ride and then I come back. I'd do the second shift. So if she needs to go shopping or whatever, I come home, I'm with my girls. I'm very hands-on with the girls from the time they were babies, diaper changes, all that stuff. So they're daddy's girls and very well trained because I spend time and I teach them. So they're here and I'm having this live session and I got a 7 and a 9-year-old in the house. You guys don't hear them. They understand. They've seen me do it. They see me work on the channel. They understand the door is closed. I'm in session, no hassles. You know, we got that sorted. And that's what it's doable. You just have to work with your partner. So what you do is Saturday morning, that's the reason I ride in the rain, guys, and I ride when it's cold. I got Saturday morning. I can't move it to the afternoon. That's not fair to the rest of the people in my life. That's why you see Paul and I putting on rain jackets and guys give us kudos. Oh, you got up 5:30 in the morning. Look at it this way. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. They're all sleeping. I go, make a cocoa, walk outside, do whatever, drink some Gatorade. Paul gets here 6:30. By 6:45, we're clipping in. They're still sleeping. We go out, we ride. Saturday, my daughters usually get up like 7:30, 8 for school. On the weekends, they'll get up maybe about the same time, but they're going to go sit, watch cartoons. At this age now, they can make their own. They can put their waffles in the toaster maker and do that. When they were younger, my wife would then get up, prepare their breakfast, and she's with them. And then when I'm done with my ride, 11, 12, whatever, my wife probably been up maybe 2 to 3 hours, and then I come home. Sometimes I've actually returned to the house and they're still sleeping. You know, so what I would do is on Sunday, the same thing. I get up early. Even when I didn't used to ride with a group on Sunday, I would get up early and keep the same schedule. So I got my Ks in by going out 7 to like 10 on Sunday. By 10 o'clock, the house is just waking up. Sometimes they didn't even know I went out to ride. My wife would ask me, have you ridden? So it's doable. You just got to have a schedule that fits your life and then work it that way. You know, and that's why I have the trainer. During the week, I would have to use the trainer. So yes, I didn't always get a chance to go out. At the age now, 7 and 9, they're pretty independent. I picked them up. Paul and I rode today. We got back and I picked them up from school and they're here in the house, not bothering me. My wife's probably back by now, but she's going to deal with it. But they're very independent and just, they understand. I don't keep anything from them. They understand what I'm working on. They're really not that interested in this channel. They don't think it's any big deal. They watch some guy named Dan TDM on YouTube that does video games. And I tell them, you're watching a guy play video games. What is that? You know, but they're not interested in the channel, but they want to know what I'm doing. And because they understand what I'm doing, they don't bother me. They know it's important and I love it and all that kind of stuff. So it's doable. You have to schedule it literally. And so my wife knows I ride Saturday and Sunday morning. So I don't care who calls the family with an event. She lets them know. No, he's not available at that time. If you want him there, it's going to have to be in the afternoon. They've had to move a few events because they want to be there. They weren't that happy, but I didn't care. So that's the way it is. You just gotta stick with it, man. It's important. Let the people around you know it's important. There is no woman that loves you that's gonna say, no, I don't want you to be happy and fit. I can still carry my girls around, play with them after the ride, have a lot of energy. That's important. That's more important to me than all the money in the world. So no, I kind of went off because that's personal. That's a great question. Let's see here. It had to be somebody from Austin to, was that him that asked that? No, I think it was Dev. Yeah, Dev. How do you manage? Yeah, it's important. You can do it, man. It's just you got to book it. That's it. Michael Fernandez. Hey, Michael. It's Eldred, Michael, not Alder. I think the software probably did the spell check for you. Michael says, sorry, mate, got the time mixed up. Okay, that's okay. That's more. There's one on Friday coming. I'm going to try to do it early in the day here, like noon or so. Try to do it early. All right, Frosty, excellent guidance. Will my local shop with your advice? Awesome. Okay. I'm not sure. I think he's looking at my advice and what he would get with his local shop. I think that's what Frosty is saying. Okay, let's see here. DPC2, 7:20 p.m. New York City, 6:20. Yeah, DPC2, we're 1 hour behind you. We're Central Standard. You're Eastern. Greetings from the land down under. Yeah, Michael Fernandez. We have a super legend there called Suresh Shinapa. I love that phrase. The land down under. I have to visit that place at some point in the future. Oh yeah, DPC2 says using a tree in New York City will get somebody a ticket. While you're in the city, I mean, we're out. Where we're out is farm country. I don't know if you even saw the cows. Yeah, I'm always messing with the cows. We're in rural area. Nobody cares out there, man. Please. This is cool. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that in the city. We don't do that in the city. We go to our McDonald's and pee there. I mean, come on, man. Give me a break. Give me some credit. Okay. Let's see here. Dogs kept on a leash here. Yeah. Michael. Yeah. We have the same thing here, Michael, but what happens is where we go, they're outside of, we have different counties. Harris County is the biggest county in Houston. So when you hear Houston, Harris is like synonymous, the largest county. We go into Montgomery counties and some of the other rural areas, and maybe they don't have ordinances there because people are on farms. Now, some of the farms have the dogs, just like life, they got people that use their heads and people that don't. Why I wouldn't want my dog running out on the street that can get hit by a car and injure the animal or kill the animal. So people who use their heads, even in the areas where there's no ordinances, they have. Paul showed me there was a fence with wood, like horizontal laced, and then they had nets to make sure the dogs didn't sneak through. That's an owner who cares about the dogs. So that's what bothers me. And today we're riding, there were dogs trying to come, and they didn't come on the road. But I was more concerned about them not coming because there was a truck passing us, and they looked like they were going to run out. And I was yelling at them so they could stay in their yard. The dogs get injured a lot and killed, and I don't understand why people will allow them to just run like that near a road. We've seen it when we went to BDS and Huntsville and different places, and I'm more concerned about the dog, and I blame the owners. They need to use their heads. So, yeah. All I do with dogs when they come out, make sure they don't get in my path. When we race, dogs caused a wreck in the pack. They ran in the pack. The dog was confused and scared. They don't know what's going on. They just want to chase something getting away from them. So it's not done with malice. That's in their genes. Something moving, they're going to chase it. That's why when you're a kid, they tell you if the dog comes after you, don't run. And these owners just do stupid stuff. And you have, like you said, they have to have a leash law. We talked about the dogs defecating in people's yards. We have to deal with all that crap where we live. These people walk their dogs to your yard to poop. Really? Thanks a lot. Action Jackson. Ah, well, you missed some answers to some questions, but that's okay. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Okay, let's see here. Riding with Sarah. She's talking with somebody. Let's see here. Pikes Peak Highways. Oh, okay. It starts at over 9,000 feet of altitude. And I think she's talking about Pikes Peak. Yeah. You got to go train in that altitude or go there cold turkey, because if you go right before, it's not going to make a difference. You need some time there if you want to acclimate, but you don't have to. I did races where I just went, but I probably didn't perform as well because the oxygen just seems to be lacking when you go that high. You know, you think about the guys in the Tour, someone that will go and train at altitude because it really does change the red blood cell composition in your body. You know, so it depends on how serious that is to you. The guy that asked the question, how do I prepare? Maybe find a place that has high altitude climbs and go ride there, man. That's the way to do it. Let's see here. He said that also DPC says Pikes Peak Highway is a 19-mile paved road that ends on the summit of 14,000-foot Pikes Peak. Too much climbing for me. 5 miles up River Road in New Jersey is enough. I guess you're not signing up. This guy. That's funny. Okay, now let's see here. I'm going to get to you, John Marino. He put a smart aleck comment there. Let's see here. I want to make sure I'm not. Okay. Okay, so riding with Sarah, lower oxygen level will diminish your performance by around 30% near the top of the mountain without taking exhaustion. Okay. Good morning, cycling fanatics. George, welcome. Welcome. Yes, I love cycling, man. You cut me, a bike tire probably comes out. Dev Miller, are you still giving out coupons and bike fits? I live in California. Let's see. We have a thing called, you can use the repeat customer, Dev. And I think we've got some bundle discounts that's been rolled out on the site as well. But repeat customer altogether will give you a discount in addition to bundle stuff. And they got some cart discounts based on the value of the items in the cart. Go to the site. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to make deals for you guys to take advantage of. So yes. There's stuff out there. Go check them out. There's enough stuff out there. What you are over 50 would have never guessed. Where is the gray? Oh, when I ride more, the gray comes right here, right there. So some of my videos, you probably see it. If I ride in the sun a lot, I get a little bit of gray. But not everybody over 50 grays. It's not a, some people gray early. I have friends that, and regardless of their race, that like they went from blonde to gray in a short time and they were like in their 30s. Everybody's different. So you can't gauge it by that. And especially in this country, a lot of our 50-year-olds look like they're 90 because they're sitting behind a desk eating a lot of crap. We saw some guy look like he was pregnant walking to the mailbox. I thought, Paul, how the hell he let himself get like that? And these are the guys you sit next to, you hear them breathing. And so, yeah, you can't do it in this country. I don't know about the rest of the world. You can't gauge it by that. And I think in Asia it's even harder because they all look young because those people, they eat well and they're moving. So you can't gauge it. People don't look their age. Some people look older than they are. Some people might look younger. Yeah. You got to be politically correct and just come out and ask if you're that interested. You can't guess. No. Down here. Now, if they smoke, they're going to look older. That's a lot of crap they do here. And they know it's bad for them. Some of them can't help it. Like nicotine is very addicting. And even though they want to stop, some people can stop cold turkey. Some people need assistance and all that. So you can't gauge it by looks. You want to know, you just got to ask people so you can be, so you don't, I guess, be uncool, because especially women, you might as well just ask them if you're that interested. Don't guess, because if you guess wrong, they won't like it. Because some women stop having birthdays as soon as they hit 21. so no, yeah, I have worked out my entire life from a kid, BMX, bikes, all kinds of crap. Soccer, basketball, table tennis. Yeah. just been active. I just love working out. I like the way it makes me feel. So yeah, a few years after I stopped racing, I got in corporate America, making a lot of money, and I put on weight, high blood pressure, all kinds of crap. And it took me, so it took me a while to get back. So my daughter just showed up. She's watching the thing. Let me see what's next here.
I just came to ask when you're done.
Let's see, hour 40. I'll be done in about 25 minutes. How's that?
I'm hungry now.
Where's your mom?
In the bathroom.
You have two parents. Go to your mom. Get out of here. You're busy. I'm busy.
She's in the bathroom.
Go. All right. So let's see here. All right. He says, heck, you can get hit waiting at the bus stop here in New York City. It's time to move out of New York City, man. It doesn't sound very good. All right. Thanks. I'm thinking getting new wheels. I'm 110 kilogram. Would you tell me carbon or alloy? 110 kilograms, heavier than me, because I'm about 87. You can use carbon or alloy. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's a matter of your budget. It doesn't matter. Carbon will hold you. Some wheels, they have a weight limit, and so you can verify. But it all comes down to how much you want to spend. I don't think weight is an issue for the wheel. I think it's more your budget. But make sure the wheel is built to carry riders like you and me. Not these 120-pound, 135 Quintana type riders. There are some wheels with less spokes, like they might have 16 or less or whatever. Don't buy those if you're buying them already built. If you're dealing with a builder, they will build a stronger wheel. When we used to race, we'd ride 36 spokes in the rear because we're bigger. The lighter riders can do less spokes. Now, if you do less spokes and you're a big rider, then the wheel comes out of true easier. I like a wheel to be what I call bomb-proof. Nowadays, a lot of the factory wheels are really well built. They come out to where you don't need to be messing with them. I just want to ride. I don't want to come home and mess with a wheel. So yeah, just get a wheel built for a big guy, a strong wheel. It can be carbon or alloy, but carbon's more expensive. That's the only thing. So look at your budget for that. And I think if you're just starting out, start with alloy. When you get faster, then you can put the carbon, you'll be able to do it justice. So I think you should start with alloy. Because you don't want to have one set of wheels. Because I broke a spoke today, I just swapped it out, took another wheel, and we could go ride. 2-3 minutes later, we're riding. So you don't want to just have one. So yeah. Let's see here. What's the next one? Most carbon wheel sets say the weight limit is 120 kilogram. Okay. But the weight they list is usually for rider weight plus bike. I don't think it would matter. He's 110. He's not close. 10 kilograms a lot. So yeah. And then once he starts to ride, he will lose weight. But for him, I think he should get alloy to start. Beat it up. They're tougher. Get a strong set of alloy. You just ride. It's not going to slow you down. That's what I ride. We ride Zonda wheels. They're inexpensive, but good quality. Most carbon wheels are okay. Then he said, cycling T-homes. Don't bike companies do the small, medium, large, extra large frames now because most bikes have a sloping top tube, so each side fits the right. Not really. It's just convenient for them. The sloping type 2 does not give you a better fit. Yeah, it's convenient for them. They make fewer bikes and they force you to buy a longer seat post, more setback where applicable. In fact, we're having a problem with, what's the bike? Was it a Giant Propel? Their seat posts, they don't have enough setback for a taller rider. So they want you to buy the XL when the L is your size because the angle of that seat tube is not shallow enough. So it benefits, they ain't doing it for you. Please. If they were, they'll be pricing them cheaper than they are. So John says, you sure your wife isn't trying to get rid of you? Yeah, go cycling. I don't know. I'm not in her head, but if that were the case, then why bother? That's the way I look at it. Let's see. Action Jackson, I'm finding as far as the wife thing goes, as long as you are consistent and stick to your goals, she will respect you. Yeah. It helps helps her keep her goals because she sees me. You know, it's like I'm a motivation for her. You know, what kind of trainer do you use, Bill Michaels? Bill, I use the Cyclops Super Magneto Pro. If you go to the website under the web store, recommended cycling products, I already have it there. Just scroll down or add the hashtag Cyclops. It will take you there. And I recommend the cycling block. I don't know if I have the, let me get the link for you, Bill. Let's see, make it easier. I was just giving my daughter's props. Then she shows up, making me look bad. Let's see here. I had just said that they don't bother me when I'm doing my live stream. She claims she's hungry though, so mom would take care of her. Let's see here. Veloharmony. New window. So I'm gonna find the link for this gentleman here on the cycle. I would make his life easier. The price has already been dropping. So I've done the homework for you. So that way you can just, okay. Go to Veloharmony here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the web store. On the website, there are menus. And under the web store, it says recommended cycling products. And that's where I'm going. And what I'm going to do is put the hashtag there so he doesn't have to scroll, because as people have asked for stuff over the last couple of years, I've added stuff on here so I don't have to keep answering them. But then it's been growing. And so as it grows, I try to avoid people having to scroll through all of the stuff that I've added there. This link will take him directly to the part of the page that has, here we go. So here's the link for the trainer that I use. It's really good value-wise, and you feel like you're on the road. Some trainers don't feel very good. It doesn't break the bank either. It's not a smart trainer. It doesn't connect to anything. So Michael Fernandez said, would you recommend using a bike computer to using your smart? Oh yeah, I don't use my phone. In fact, well, he doesn't use it. There was a guy in the ride Saturday, Michael. He puts his phone behind his seat post, which looks really odd. You just see this big square package and sitting there. And I've seen people mounted on their stem. It's huge. I want to see the beauty of that stem. These stems are not cheap. So why would I cover it with a phone? My phone's in my pocket, so if something happens, I can call. That's it. Get a computer. It's nice and small. Even if it's Wahoo or Garmin or whatever, they got a small little block. Yeah, it just doesn't look cool. You got this huge phone on your, and you know, the phones are getting bigger and everybody wants to buy bigger and bigger phones. Got a big thing here on their ear. So no, you don't need that on your bike. I don't put too much stuff on my bike. I like my bike. You can see I don't even have a saddlebag on that thing. I like my bike in its natural state. Let it handle the way it's designed to handle. You start putting stuff on there, your bike handles differently. All right. Rason Hunter, have you tried beet juice 30 minutes to an hour prior to a ride? No, I don't know if I like the taste that much. Heard it can improve your oxygen transfer around the body. That might be good. I don't know. I've just never tried it. Never, you know. Oh, that's good to know. So Michael's a typo. Sorry for the typo error. I'm not sure what he typed. Okay. So Dev, you're welcome. Dev Miller's thanking me, I think, for the link. I did a bike fit taking your advice. This is Michael Fernandez. I did a bike fit taking your advice at the bike shop, but I am not too happy. Yeah, like I said on my website, my bike fit is not a bike shop fit. It's only as good as that person. What is the background? What are the palmares of the person at the bike shop? Just because they're at the shop. It could be some guy that just hired. So you got to be real careful. I recommend fit, but fit from a fit studio. That's all they do. Not the bike shop fit. I mean, I don't, you know, because it's only as good as that guy. Doesn't mean that all bike shop fits are bad, but you got to find out who's doing the fit. You know, who have they fitted? That's one of the reasons on this channel, when people sign up for fit, I don't need to talk them into anything. They've seen the videos, you know, and they understand that I know what I'm talking about. So yes, now they should have given you a follow-up. Okay, if you're not happy, go back. They took your money. They need to make sure you're happy. They need to, because he's saying that his left side is sore, his cheek, rear cheek, but right side is fine. Does that mean anything? It could be maybe addressing some leg length imbalance or saddle height. You shouldn't have one cheek sore and the other not. So I don't, the cheek being sore is unusual. I don't know if it's your cheek as opposed to your sit bones. If it's where you sit that's sore, then something's off. Maybe one of your legs might be a little longer or shorter than the other, and they didn't address that. And maybe you may not have been aware of it to tell them. That's the reason I give follow-up, especially for locals. And so that way they can go ride, and if there's issues, we deal with it. The people that do remote fit, they got 30 days to do their stuff. And, I give them a window because I don't want to be never ending. Otherwise, it'd be hard to manage. So yeah, go back to them. They should want you to come back because it helps them. You're dealing with something unusual. So maybe you don't need a standard fit. Maybe you need something tweaked because the human body is not symmetrical. My cleats on my shoes are not the same on the right and the left. One is angled a little more on the left because that's how my left leg works. So as far as being under the shoe, if you flip them, they're close, but they got a few millimeters of difference. That's normal. The human body is not symmetrical. We're not perfectly placed. That's what makes us unique. So yes, if something's off, you need to deal with it. And they should do it at no charge. They should at least find out what's wrong. And if you need a shim or something, they can deal with that. So give them a call, Michael. Let's see, Nicholas here. Hey, Nicholas. So we got about 10 minutes left on the session here. Let me see. Okay, I don't see any super chats, so I'm going to keep going. Stefano says he's back. Stefano Massini. I know you've probably have spoken about this, but it looks like you are a steel is real guy. Thoughts on aluminum? Yeah, I've talked about it. I like steel. I've never owned an aluminum bike, and they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Back early in the time when they came out, people gave them a rap about being stiff and rigid or whatever, but now everybody's riding carbon and they're supposed to be stiff. Aluminum bikes can rival carbon in weight. So can steel. Now people are building them. For those who are concerned about weight, weight really only comes into a factor if you're doing a lot of climbing, like the guy who's doing Pikes Peak. If you're going to do Pikes Peak, then you want to get your lightest bike. That's when a full water bottle matters because that's when it counts. That's when you can lose time. But on just regular terrain, once the bike is rolling, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Aluminum will be fine if you're interested in that, if you like it or if you had it before. But for me to just go and try, that's what, I don't want to try everything that's out there. Now, I'm doing this channel. People have been trying to send stuff. If someone sends an aluminum bike for me to test, I'll test it. And then I can compare it to the steel, titanium. I've owned a carbon bike. So I already own a carbon bike, so I know. So carbon is not my first choice. I owned a Calfee. I wasn't that impressed with it, and it was top of the line. So I've always liked steel because I raced on steel bikes. That's all that was out there when I raced for the most part. So I like steel. Now titanium, I love titanium. So, it's kind of like, why do I need to go try aluminum? That's money. You can't, when you say try, you're spending. So why buy that when I have what works? That's the thing. So until, but yeah, nothing's wrong with them. I think they're fine. I think get them nice and they handle really well. People ride them. I'm sure some of the racers are using them. DJ Tony. Hey, DJ Tony. How you doing? Okay, let's see. Thoughts on riding. DJ Tony says, thoughts on riding a cross bike as opposed to your typical road bike. I don't think it'll matter. I think a cross bike is fine. I watched the World Championship. That bikes look like road bikes. They just have disc brakes on them. So I don't think it matters. Just pick the right wheel if you're going to be on the road primarily. I mean, the right tire. Because they pick their tires based on the terrain. Those guys, if there's on a lot of sand, a lot of mud, they change the tire so they can handle it. So if you get a cross bike, chances are you put a tire that you can do on and off road and be fun. That sounds like it would be fun to have a bike like that. Okay. Oh, DJ said he's on the link. Yeah, it's the website. The website has been a labor of love. I put things out there because people ask for it, and Paul's been testing some of it. So we are trying to just avoid you having to go do all this shopping. It's there. That's the best price. Just click on it. Then you support the channel when you click on that. It takes you there. I think it's $199 now. When I bought it, it was like $400, and that was years ago. I've had that thing. It works. Well, you guys are going to find out. I will always recommend what I use, and I will always recommend something that I've researched. But most of the things I recommend are things I use. And so when people contact the channel and want to send me stuff, I screen them. Okay, what's your product? Let me go see it. I say, I would buy that. I'm not going to try to. If you can't sell something you don't believe, then it's hard. Salesmanship is hard if you don't believe in it. So yeah, so I'm using that. I made a video about it on the channel, so you can watch the video after you get it, so you can know how to set it up and all that. Covered all of that. Just type Super Magneto in the video search for this channel. You get it. There's a little search bar on the channel page. It's hard to see. Small little, like they don't want you to search specifically. They want you watching all kinds of crap. Because I'm like, why you put that little small thing on the channel page? So let's see. Do you see yourself riding the Red Hook Crit? Guess I should have asked if you like to ride without brakes and fixed gear or track bike. I rode fixed gear bike. I rode at the track. I've done the track here in Houston. We have a velodrome out west. I'm familiar with a track bike. I don't own one anymore because it's so specific to that event. I don't do any criteria on. You have to be, well, how can I put it? I don't want to do any crits and stuff like that. You have to be careful about the racing stuff because some of the riders take it too seriously. You're not making that much money, especially at the local amateur races. And then they take chances and they're risky, So a lot of riders don't do it for that reason because some people mess up. And now the higher levels, Cat 3 and higher, they're safe because their skill level's high. So no, I don't do any more racing. I stopped in 02. I tired of all that traveling, but maybe later if they bring one, we have a local one in the area. I'll do it. Maybe we can film it. But racing is like our group ride. In fact, actually, it's a little easier. The reason why the racing is easier is because once you break away, it's steadier. Our group rides harder because these guys, they'll ride till their legs fall off. Racers don't race like that. They're more conservative. They pick their spots. Like I was messing with them on Saturday. They pick their spots to attack. It's strategic. They don't just ride like they're crazy. These guys will ride a bunch of kamikaze guys just, so it gives us a great workout. I love riding with them because if they were racing, they would lose. Because timing is everything when you race, and they have none. They just ride, man. They just know how to go full gas. As the Team IR guys, there's something. I love riding with them, and so yeah, it would be great to race against because you just let them do that crazy stuff and just wait, because racers are very crafty. You go to a race, they're not going to pull longer than a few seconds unless they're pulling a teammate or something. Everybody's saving their energy, so it's just yo-yoing until someone makes it move, unless there's a big team that I can control the pack. And that happens at the Cat 2 and higher. The Cat 3s and 4s, it's almost like defensive racing. And those of you who race, you know what I'm talking about. They chase everything. Anybody going, their whole pack chases. They don't even know why they're chasing, but they just chase. So category 4 and category 3, you don't learn much. When you start doing 90-mile races, now these boys got strategy, and the prize money's higher. That's when it counts, So, no, it's fun. I'm not talking you out of it. I've been there, done that. And now I'm more laid back, but I'm still fit enough to do some of them. So, yeah, maybe. Dave Felga, do you have a video? I'm looking at the time. I don't want this to be too long. You have a video on how to plan and navigate a new bike route. Yeah, I do. I don't even know what we called it. That's funny. His question is right on with what we have. I did one of them. Actually, I want to see what it's called. Let's see here. Go to. Let me find that for you. It's one of those that I did. I think somebody may have asked for that. And the group ride last week was popular. Over 1,000 already. Let's see here. Let's go to Video Manager. The channel is well over 9,000 subscribers. I'm very surprised. And they're real subscribers. I don't buy anything. Let's see here. Planning around. I don't know what I called it. I don't remember what I called it. I'll find it for you. I want people who want to learn. Ah, you're in luck. Build a safe cycling route. I think that's exactly what you need right here. We have an extensive library. Here we go, right here. That's the link to the video. Have fun. It's very detailed. Okay. Michael says probably sit bone, I think. Okay, good. That helps me, Michael. Sit bone being sore. Then yeah, go back and revisit that saddle height and fore aft fit. Only as good as the guy. I don't know what question he asked you. I make people ride when they're in my studio. I don't just set them up. I can look at a rider and see if they're balanced. And that's why the people that do the remote fit, I tell them to give me a video from the side. Any other position is useless to me. I want to see you from the side. I can see the acceleration of your knee, and I can see how you look on the bike. And all the details are out there for the remote fit. I started that because people like you have asked. So, yeah. Okay. Michael Fernandez. Okay, let's see here. I've been researching. Okay, Nicholas says, I've been researching about custom steel for amazing quality versus price, and of course, the fit. Inspired from your arguments. Yep. Nicholas, the weight is inconsequential, okay? If you want a bike at the UCI limit, they can make you that. When I built my bike, I told Kish I wanted it to be strong because I'm hard on them. That's why it's 17 pounds. He could have made it 16. I think that's where the UCI is. I wasn't interested in that. I don't want any headaches. I'm a big guy. So I want that bike to be strong. And big is relative, you know. I'm in good condition, but I just want to ride the bike. I don't want to be messing with it. So no, I err on the side. So yeah, Kish can build you as light as you want to go. You'd have to get the titanium. He has a SL titanium and a regular titanium. I don't know what's in it, but it's got different tubings. I bought the base of everything when I did my Kish. I didn't get anything extra other than the paint job because you pay for that. So yes, value-wise, you're better off. It will fit you. It's like getting a custom-made shoe. But you need to make sure you fit it and you get good numbers. That's why he's working with us now. So I fill out the form for you guys because his form's very complicated. And if you mess it up, then he's got to do multiple drawings. So he wants me to be doing it so that he can just get one CAD drawing and the bike is perfect. You know, like we did for one of our legends in Louisiana. So we've already started that process, and I just made the announcement because last week he and I talked about it, and he said, okay, that's what we need to start doing because it makes my life easier. So yeah, there are people that build custom bikes. If you want a custom bike built for you in carbon, I mean carbon custom bikes, there are people that do that. So you can get that done too. So what gets me is to see Specialized Venge for 16,000, 15,000, whatever it was when I made the video. And then they got such limitations on the geometry of the seat tube. What are you buying? What is that buying you, the 15 grand? Because you can get, like Ellis Cycles makes steel bikes, which are more what I call ornamental kind of bikes with big lugs. And so you pay more. But you can get any kind of, I mean, just the most glamorous custom bike, they're not going to be anywhere near 15 grand. So I don't know where the prices are going. Carbon's getting out of hand. Anyway, let's see here. I'm trying not to miss anything because we're running out of time here. So let's see. Have a special. Some of you may have to come back to the next one. I don't see any super chats, so I can't jump to that. So I'm just going to go through the list here.
All right. Do you have any video on how to plan and navigate? We got that. Been researching about custom steel. Good. All right. I have a special Atlas race and you can put wide tires, but I'm not an expert. I think DJ is answering somebody. Yeah, you just have to, with tires being on your frame, you got to try it and see if it fits. And it's expensive. You buy the tire mounted. Maybe you can borrow a wheel from somebody with a bigger tire and try that before you buy it. I was given a diagram, and here DPC2 is responding to M. Fernandez. He says, I've seen too many exploding cell phones on weekend cycling rides, so I would say cycling computer. And who wants a cell phone on this fork? It just doesn't look right. Catching all that wind. Put the thing in your pocket. Use it for emergency. I put it in my security pocket. Rafa Jerseys has a zippered pocket that's long. That's where I put it. Sometimes I stick it in the back of the bib. They have pockets for your race radio on their bibs. I put it in there. I don't need it except when I want to use it. I don't take it to answer calls. I was given a diagram. I put it on do not disturb when I start my ride. I love that feature. I was given a diagram with a whole bunch of numbers, which is like gobbledygook to me. Michael, yeah, I don't do that for my people. I don't do diagrams when I give fit numbers. I use words. Yes, because it's hard for you to read. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Go back there, Michael. They should allow you to have a follow-up at no cost. Any decent fitter. I give my people 30 days. So, yeah. All right. DJ says, love the channel. That's great. Great, man. We're trying. I notice your saddle is low, but is the bike larger? My saddle's not low. My saddle is set for my inseam. It is 76.5. It's not low. If you look at that seat post has a huge setback. See how it's like a snake? The reason is that bike is not custom. The Colnago was off the shelf, and it's 72.75. It's almost 73 degrees. And I had to buy that seat post that allowed me to put my saddle the distance behind the bottom bracket that I needed to be in. My other bikes are custom, so it's a 70 seat angle. So it's slacker. Taller riders with long femurs sit further back. That's the problem with these bikes off the shelf now. They're not making enough sizes. And so you need these fancy things. Now, with the Colnago being a round tube, I could buy my own seat post and make that work. But some of the new bikes, like Paul's Giant, Propel, they come with their own proprietary seat tube, and then Giant does not have a setback seat post that's more than he needs. In other words, he wants to get a seat post that will put him back further. They say, oh, we don't make that. We only got maybe a 1 centimeter one. How can you make one kind of seat post knowing that people need different setbacks? So if you're going to make fewer bike sizes, then make many different seat posts. They said, no, they're telling you need to buy a bigger size bike. That's like telling you to buy a bigger shoe because the strings don't work on the one you have. I'm like, these guys, so he's been dealing with them. And we'll find a way around that hassle. But no, it's not low. It's I've got about 6 inches of seat post exposed. That is the way your bike's supposed to look. A lot of these guys are playing around with smaller frames. If the frame is too small, you can't steer it with your hips. It's your hips that you use to move that bike. That's why you see me looking like I'm floating. That's the stuff. That's why people around me are not scared. I use my hips to move that bike. If the bike is too low, it's like you're riding a skateboard. I can't get it under me. There's not enough bicycle under me. Look at the top riders. They don't have my seat post sticking up. It's the posers who's trying to wannabes that are playing around. And then you might see them in one race and the next day they're back on a different bike because they're not paying for it. So no, it's not low. All right, so we're going to be wrapping up. It's after 2 hours. We're done. So the rest of you guys, you'll have to either do super chat next time or join us when we come. Couldn't get to you. Okay, great. I'm glad you guys could attend. All righty.